The Tale of Prince Adisa and the Enchanted Village. Once upon a time, in the mystical African village of Norai, there lived a wise and revered king named Bekari. King Bekari ruled over his kingdom with justice and kindness, and his people loved him dearly. He had a son named Adisa, who was the light of his life and the heir apparent to the throne. Prince Adisa was a handsome, gentle, and adventurous young man, admired by every woman in the village. Despite his royal heritage, Adisa preferred a simple life and loved exploring the expansive farmlands surrounding Norai. One fateful day, while climbing one of the tallest trees in the farm, tragedy struck. Adisa missed a step and fell from a great height, breaking his neck. He lay unconscious, his life hanging by a thread. The news of the prince's accident spread like wildfire through the village, plunging the entire community into despair. King Bekari, filled with worry and desperation, summoned all the powerful healers in the land to save his beloved son. Despite their best efforts, the prince remained in a deep coma, unresponsive to any treatment. The king's heart ached with fear, for Adisa was his only son and the future of their kingdom. Without an heir, the throne could pass to another family, which King Bekari could not allow. He cried out to the gods, pleading for their intervention and the healing of his son. The villagers joined in prayer and made sacrifices, hoping for a miracle. After 7 long days, a great seer named Amori arrived at the palace with a glimmer of hope. Amori announced that the gods had revealed to him that a young woman in the village was carrying Prince Adisa's child. However, the gods did not reveal the identity of this woman. King Bekari's heart swelled with joy at the thought of an unborn grandchild who could inherit his throne should anything happen to Adisa. He knew he had to find the woman as soon as possible to secure the future of his kingdom. The news of the unborn prince spread quickly, and soon nearly all the women in the village arrived at the palace, claiming to be carrying the prince's child. In a modest part of the village lived a beautiful young woman named Zai. She had been in a secret relationship with Prince Adisa for a long time, their love hidden from the prying eyes of the village. Several days before the prince's accident, Zai had discovered that she was pregnant with his child and was planning to tell him before the tragic event that left him in a coma. Fearing that no one would believe her due to her humble background, Zai kept her pregnancy a secret. One day, while she was helping her mother in the garden, her best friend, Nia, came running towards her. Nia informed Zai about the gathering of the women at the palace, all claiming to be pregnant with the prince's child. Shocked and worried, Zai confided in Nia, revealing her own pregnancy. Nia, consumed by envy and the desire to become queen, laughed it off and left. On her way back, Nia hatched a plan. She thought to herself, if the prince cannot speak, and everyone is claiming to be pregnant, let's see who will win this game. When Zoe arrived at the palace, she was taken aback to see Nia among the women claiming to be pregnant with the prince's child. King Bekari, equally astonished, questioned all the women about why they had gathered there. The seer had said only one woman was carrying the prince's child, so why were they all claiming to be pregnant? Each woman insisted that the prince had impregnated them before the accident, causing confusion in the palace. King Bekari, a wise ruler, decided to put the women through a series of tests to determine the legitimacy of their claims. The tests were to begin in 7 market days. During those 7 market days, the village was abuzz with activity. The women, eager to prove their pregnancies, sought out men to sleep with them in hopes of actually becoming pregnant. Nia, determined to beat everyone at the game, kept her distance from Zoe, who was unaware of her friend's deceit. On the 7th day, all the pregnant women gathered at the palace. The famous midwife in the village, Abeni, was called upon to confirm the pregnancies. To everyone's shock, Abeni declared that all the women were indeed pregnant. A new test was announced, a seed planting test. Each woman was asked to plant a special seed in Prince Adisa's garden, symbolizing the life growing within them. The most respected herbalist in the village had performed a ritual on the land, ensuring that only the woman carrying the prince's child would have the healthiest plant. As the days passed, all the plants began to grow, but Zoe's plant stood out as the tallest and most vibrant. Nia, consumed by envy and desperation, could not bear to see Zoe succeed. In the dead of night, she sneaked into the garden and destroyed all the plants, hoping to sabotage Zoe's chances. The next day, the entire village gathered at the garden to witness the revelation of the test results. To their dismay, all the plants had withered. The herbalist, devastated by the turn of events, announced that the gods had revealed a final test. This test would not only identify the mother of the prince's unborn child but could also heal the prince himself. All the women were instructed to fetch the water of life from the magical river deep in the heart of the forest. The water brought by the true mother of the prince's child would have the power to heal him. Furthermore, she would become the princess and the future queen of the village. However, those who failed the test would become slaves to the queen, serving her for the rest of their lives as punishment for their lies and deception. At the mention of this punishment, many of the women stepped back, confessing that they had lied and that other men in the village had impregnated them. They were pardoned but lived the rest of their lives in shame. Only Nia remained steadfast, unable to bear the thought of Zoe becoming queen. She had a plan and was willing to risk everything. Heavily pregnant, Zoe and Nia embarked on the journey to fetch the water of life from the magical river. Once best friends, they had become bitter rivals, each vying for the title of future queen. On their way back, Zoe, exhausted from the journey, decided to rest. Nia seized this opportunity and exchanged her pot of water with Zoe's, believing that since she was truly pregnant with the prince's child, her water held the power to heal him. Nia was confident that she would pass the test, having switched the water, and Zoe would become her slave. When they arrived at the palace, the entire village awaited their return, their hopes hanging in the balance. Nia, filled with false confidence, went in first and presented her water to the prince. To her dismay, nothing happened. Confused and desperate, she wondered why the water she had exchanged didn't work. It was then Zoe's turn. Unbeknownst to her, Nia had switched their water. With sincerity and love in her heart, Zoe administered the water. Miraculously, the prince jolted back to life, his eyes fluttering open. It was not about the water but the person administering it. Zoe's genuine connection with the prince had brought him back from the brink of death. The entire village erupted in joy and celebration. The poor girl, who had never thought herself worthy of the prince, was crowned as a princess and the future queen. Months later, she gave birth to a healthy baby boy, the young prince who would one day inherit the throne. Zoe and Prince Adisa were married and lived happily ever after, ruling their kingdom with love and compassion. As for Nia, her deceit and envy had cost her dearly. She spent the rest of her life as a slave, serving Zoe and witnessing the happiness and prosperity she could have had. The tale of Prince Adisa and the enchanted village of Norai became a legend, teaching the values of truth, love, and the consequences of deceit for generations to come. I hope you enjoyed the tale. If so, please like the video, comment, share it with your family and friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell for more enchanting tales like this one. Goodbye.